Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 20 tips and tricks for RuneScape 3. Now, these tricks are going to be a variety of different things. It's going to cover a lot of different aspects of RuneScape 3, including settings, as well as a few money-making tips, and a few other random things as well. So if you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more content like this. Also, if you guys have some more tips that I didn't mention in this video, let me know in the comments down below so we can share it with everyone, and hopefully add on to the tips and tricks. Anyway guys, I really hope you do enjoy the video, and let's get into it. So starting off with tip number 1 is collecting your coins from Explorer Jack. So Explorer Jack is a taskmaster. He's located in Lumbridge, and if you claim rewards with him, you will get a bunch of coins. So as you can see, I got 372,000 coins. Now it does depend on the number of tasks you have completed. So if you do have more tasks, a lot of tasks, you will get more money, but it is just a nice and quick and easy way to get some free cash. Now moving on to tip number 2, we have auto-redeeming XP on Treasure Hunter. So first off, just go to Treasure Hunter. In the settings here, or the options, you can click this right here, and you can auto-redeem your non-combat lamps and stars, as well as your combat lamps and stars. You can even auto-redeem the key tokens when you receive them. So I just take all of these, the cash bags, the engineering boxes. I find it is really helpful, so when you get these rewards, they're automatically redeemed, saves you the inventory space and whatnot. You can also auto-redeem the prismatic stars and the prismatic lamps into any skill of your choosing. So for me personally, I chose archaeology, so all of my prismatic stars and my prismatic lamps go into those skills. So I do find this is a nice little tip just to give you a bit of quality of life with Treasure Hunter. Now moving on to tip number 3, this tip is going to be using the Eat Food ability. So this is an ability that you can drag onto your action bar and put on a keybind. As you guys can see, I have it on keybind C, so whenever I hit C, I will be eating the first food in my inventory. So in my inventory, I have a bunch of random foods. When I hit C, I ate the swordfish, then I'll eat the shark. Also, to add on to this tip, you can also keybind things like your Ceridoma Brew and jellyfish, and you can eat these all in the same tick. So if you're looking to heal a bunch in one tick, you can eat them all at once, which is pretty useful in a lot of different PVM scenarios. Now moving on to tip number 4, this is binding your action bars to a combat style. So to do this, you will want to go into your settings. Now once you get to your settings, just go to the gameplay tab, then go to the combat and action bar, and under action bar binding, you can bind your action bars to a specific combat style. So for the first action bar binding setup 1, as you guys can see, I have it set to range 2-hand, then set this to primary bar, and then I can select which bar I would like to go to when I use a 2-handed ranged weapon. So you guys can see when I do equip my Sarin Godbow, I will go straight to my action bar 2, which is my 2-hand ranged action bar. You can do this for all of the other combat styles as well. So I do highly recommend you guys do this, especially when you're doing high level PVM, which does involve a lot of switches. Now moving on to tip number 6, this tip is a bit different. It's just going to be utilizing your double XP events. So there's on average about 4 double XP events per year. Now on these events, you will want to make sure that you are training your buyable skills, such as Herblore and Summoning. These are the best 2 skills to train on double XP live. That is because you not only save the amount of time you are training the skill, but you also do save a ton of money. So for example, if it does cost about 80 mil to get the skill to level 99, it will only cost 40 mil on double XP weekend. Of course, that is if you are buying the materials beforehand. Now moving on to tip number 7, we have extending your Reaper tasks. So if you guys don't know, Reaper tasks are essentially Slayer tasks, but you are assigned bosses. You can get them for talking to death. And Reaper tasks, they usually are only a small number of bosses. However, you can actually increase the amount of bosses that you have to kill, and you will get 25% more Reaper points. So to do this, just go to your settings, and under the skills and experience tab, go to Slayer. You guys can see that you can toggle group assignments, which will toggle tasks like Next, Virago, Rise of the Six, and then you can also enable larger tasks, which will make it so you have to kill more bosses. However, you will get 25% more Reaper points, and of course this is really useful because you can use the Reaper points to buying an incomplete Hydrix. These Hydrixes, they do cost about 300 Reaper points, and they usually sell for around 60 to 70 mil on the Grand Exchange right now. So it is an easy way to make some money, especially if you are getting a little bit more Reaper points per assignment. Now moving on to tip number 8, this is going to be a keybind which will allow you to take all of the items out of your Beast of Burden straight to your inventory. So to do this, just go to your familiar options icon, select the last option, so you'll select the familiar interaction. You want this to be selected to take Beast of Burden, and then just hit confirm when it is selected on that. You can then drag this icon onto an action bar, so you can also keybind it. So I have mine keybinded to F3. So when I hit F3 here, I will get all of the items straight to my inventory. Again, super helpful for a PVM situation instead of just withdrawing your sailfish, withdrawing your food. Normally like this, you can just hit the keybind and withdraw it instantly. Now moving on to our next tip, we have getting Vis Wax. This is sort of a quick little way of making some money each day in RuneScape. So Vis Wax is a daily D&D, and it does require level 50 rune crafting to do. That's because you will need to enter the rune crafting guild. Now Vis Wax, there is different combinations for it each day. If you guys do join my Discord server, each day in the announcements tab, we do post the combinations for Vis Wax. So as you guys can see on screen, the combinations for this specific day was Death in slot 1, and then also we have Chaos, Smoke, or Air in slot 2. So it is a possibility between any of these three for slot 2. For slot 3, it is always random. You can figure this out by using your rune crafting skill cape. So if you do have 99 rune crafting, you can figure out the best rune to put in that slot. But also the in brackets, so example for slot 1, the brackets say Water 25, Chaos 29, and Earth 23. So if you do use water runes in slot 1, you will get 25 out of the possible 30 Vis Wax. This is important because sometimes the best rune in the slot is really expensive, so maybe you don't want to use death runes because they're expensive. Then you can use a cheaper rune and just get a little bit less Vis Wax. So since the combination is death rune in the first slot, I'm going to put death runes in slot number 1. It looks like air is a pretty good option for slot number 2, so I'll do that. And if you guys saw, I used my rune crafting cape to see what was the best for slot 3. It was law runes, and we get 90 for Vis Wax. So as I mentioned, you can do this every day, and Vis Wax usually is priced pretty high. Right now it's priced at nearly 14k each, so taking out the cost for the runes, you'll make around 1 mil per day getting Vis Wax. So moving on to tip number 10, we have the Reaper title bonus. So the Reaper title is a title that you can obtain by killing each boss once. This title is really important because it will provide a passive bonus to you. As you guys can see on screen, you will get a +2 prayer bonus, +20 armor, +200 life points, and then you'll also get a +12 bonus for each combat style. So this is a really important title to strive for. You just need to kill each boss once, and you will get these passive bonuses forever. Moving on to our next tip, we have the bank presets. So we actually recently got more bank presets. We have 10 now. And if you didn't already know, you can actually drag your preset up and down, which can be really useful. Just so you can actually utilize the quick preset just by clicking, for example, 1. You can quickly load that preset. So dragging it up and down can be really useful for that reason. Also, another really useful thing about these presets is that you can actually just save and load by right-clicking the presets in the bank, so you don't actually have to open the entire interface. Moving on to our next tip, we have the Extreme Invention Potion. This is a really useful potion to have. It will increase your invention level by 17. Now, when you do use this, making gizmos, for example, you will have a higher chance at getting better perks. Also, when you do discover in the invention workbench, you will be able to discover things that you won't be able to actually unlock when you are 17 levels ahead. So you can actually gain a lot of XP pretty quickly doing this. And doing this on double XP weekend will grant you the double XP for invention. So if you do use an extreme invention potion, you can quickly discover all of the inventions and get a ton of invention XP pretty quickly. Moving on to this next tip, which I actually only recently found, is that you can make Gizmo Bags with invention, and you can actually put your gizmos into these bags. This is really helpful because obviously gizmos do take up a lot of room, so if you do make these, it will really help a lot. Now, as you can see, when you open the gizmo bag, you can quickly deposit all of your gizmos into it. It will hold 20 gizmos, so it is really helpful if you do have these gizmo bags. It will save you a lot of bank space. Now, another tip that I have for you guys is the area loot option. So as you guys can see, if you do try to activate your area loot, you will only work with 2 items on the ground. However, you can actually change this now. There is a new setting. So just go to the settings, go to item drops, and you can actually toggle this setting, which will allow you to open the loot interface even if there is only a single item to be picked up. Also, you can go to controls, and at the bottom of the action bar keybinds, you can keybind your area loot, which is really helpful when doing AFK tasks such as Abyssal Demons. So doing all this, you can just automatically pick up 1 item or enter your area loot interface, even when there is only 1 item on the ground. It is a super useful quality of life tip. This next tip is just some useful items that will help you guys throughout PVM. So one really useful item that you can get is the Enhanced Excalibur. This is a really useful item. You can get it through the Elite Sears Village tasks. And by using it, you actually will gain 40% of your health back over time. You'll also get a plus 14 defense boost. So it is a really useful item just to bring whenever you're doing any sort of PVM, since it does have that healing aspect to it. It takes about 5 minutes to recharge, so it is obviously just a really great healing item to have. And of course, the Spring Cleaner is another really great item to use, especially when doing AFK creatures like Abyssal Demons or other creatures that do drop Rune Salvage. That is because you can automatically disassemble stuff with the Spring Cleaner. It makes tasks a little bit more AFK. So I do highly recommend you guys have both of these items if you're looking to do Slayer or other PVM related activities. My next tip for you guys is a new change. You can actually change the text size by clicking the options in your text box here. Just go to text size. If you click on it, the text will become larger. So this is really helpful if you have a pretty large monitor. You can't really see the text in the bottom corner. So it is a really nice change that they did implement into the game. This next tip that I want to talk about is just some grand exchange tips. So first off, you do have your favorite tab, which you can favorite some of the items that you buy the most. So for example, you can even add new favorites. Let's say I want to buy some Chronotes. You can just buy them quickly like that. It will also show the listed price of them. And then when you also do buy them, let's say we want to buy them underpriced. You can quickly edit your offer if it doesn't already buy. You can edit it by clicking this instead of aborting it. It does just save you some time, so you can just quickly edit your offer and then buy the item that you would like to purchase. And then another quick tip that I do want to mention is that you can actually go into here and you can quickly repeat the offer by right-clicking it. So an immediate repeat, for example, would instantly buy the order again. So this is another quick little tip with the Grand Exchange. And so moving on to another quick tip, this is using the quick Alch and the quick disassemble option. So if you do have the high Alch runes in your inventory, you can quickly just drag the item that you want to high Alch onto the coin pouch icon down here, and it will just quickly high Alch one of the items. Now the same can be done for disassembling an item. You can drag it onto the disassemble icon. Now with this it's a bit different. It will actually disassemble the entire stack of items that you do have in your inventory, but it is a quick way of getting rid of these items when you are doing Slayer. My next tip for you guys is make sure that you are doing your D&Ds. So specifically the best D&Ds that I think you guys should do is God Statues, Wilderness Warbands, and also the Giant Oyster. These are monthly D&Ds aside from the Wilderness Warbands, which can be done every 8 hours. But the God Statues, it is a really good D&D. It does provide some construction XP as well as some Slayer or Prayer XP every month. Warbands is another really great D&D that you can do. It will provide large amounts of experience in farming, construction, herb lore, mining, or smithing. And then there is my favorite, which is the Giant Oyster D&D. This gives you a free clue scroll reward every month, and you also get a ton of fishing and farming XP as well. So this is a really fun D&D to do every month that you guys should definitely do, at least for the clue scroll reward, because it is just really exciting checking to see what you get every month. Another tip that I have for you guys is the camera modes. So you're probably all on the classic camera mode, which is this one right here. So you can see that you can't actually zoom out that much, but if you do go into your settings and go to the gameplay and the camera tab under this system settings right here, you can see that you have camera modes. So you can switch between the modern, classic, freedom, and freedom classic camera modes. Now I highly recommend using freedom. This is a really good camera mode. As you can see, you can actually zoom out much more than in the classic. So you can see a lot more of the screen. It's really helpful. I find really helpful when you're doing bossing, especially a few specific bosses where you need to pay attention to a lot more and see the entire room. So I really do like this freedom camera. You can also try it with the other ones, but I highly do recommend you guys use this one. But anyway guys, those are all 20 tips that I have for you in this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Also, as I mentioned in the beginning, if you have any other tips that you would like to mention, let me know in the comments down below and I'll try to pin them for everyone to see. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.